want to know this. Why do people get the benefit of the doubt if they're dark-skinned on colorism? And people will say, oh, it's not an ugly girl's argument. But if you have that same complaint and you're brown-skinned or light-skinned, people will say, oh, that's just because you're ugly. Why are we always giving dark-skinned black people the benefit when it comes to this, but we never give other complexions the same benefit of the doubt? Oh yes, because we are never hated for our black features. We are never told our black features are unattractive. We are never told that other features are a bit prettier than, black features. No, oh no, 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 no. Only dark-skinned black women get told that. Yeah, even though it's very well often that dark-skinned black people will be trying to tell you how ugly your African features are, and that's why they're connected to you. They'll try and prove to you that you have African features and your African features are bad. Which is like, from my perspective, it's always like, then why the fuck do you think I want to be associated with you when all you are is a negative Nancy? All you ever do is try and say, oh, these are the things that you have in common with me, and this is what makes you look terrible because of this, that, which is supposedly somehow an African feature. Heck, features that aren't even African sometimes will be called African simply because they want to associate some negativity to it. For example, Nicki Minaj. I was talking about this on someone else's live, and they were talking about her features. And, people used to attack her features, her nose specifically, and say that was an African trait because it was long. And people would often try and say, supposedly, like a bell pepper nose, for example, was basically a black feature, even though, people always say black features are more soft, round, white, instead of narrow, long, and pointed. But somehow, that's just one example of how people will try and act like a bad feature is automatically a black feature. And this is obviously talking about someone who isn't even dark-skinned. So somehow, you always say that, oh, it's because people are associating them with dark skin, so it's not about them being black women it's not about them being, ugly or unattractive. It's about them being black women because they're dark skinned. You give them that benefit of the doubt. But other people who get attacked for their African features, we're just left out in the cold. Yeah, that's because people like that content creator, one, live in a world, in an idea where they basically, one, sympathize with colorism crybabies because they feel it too. That's the type of person, and I'm not going to say who I'm talking about because I actually like this person, I'm subscribed to them, and though we don't like each other, I still don't want to say her name. Anyway, that's the type of person who talks about their facial features and talks about how they've been shamed for certain facial features. They will turn right around and hate someone who has less Afrocentric facial features, for example. They do that often. And I want to get into that also with different facial features and how people will try to shame other people for their facial features. Don't you dare do it to them, though, kind of thing. It's like when you are one of those type of people who will do things like that, you can't expect it not to go both ways, But my perspective on this is just, I just kind of feel like, yes, of course, you understand them because you feel that way towards white women. You feel that way towards Hispanic women. You probably may even feel that way towards mixed women who have less Afrocentric features than you. This person is about my color, but they're not very Afrocentric. Like, they're very Afrocentric, I guess you could say, in the face. So there's some mixed people who would have their features, some people that wouldn't. Anyway, so that would depend. But you can see that they do have that vitriol against women who are basically more Eurocentric in phenotype. So when you can understand that, even if you're not dark-skinned, you understand the colorism crybabies because you suffer from the same problem they suffer from. Issues with those who are lighter, issues with those with more Eurocentric features, and so forth. Some people, when they experience jealousy from people who are lighter than them or have more Eurocentric features than them, they kind of realize that the importance of it isn't that important, at least in their own personal life, so it's not an issue. But people like this may have heard otherwise and felt like they were placed below them, so then they feel like they're in an inferior spot. So then they understand colorism crybabies, basically, because they think that they are basically in an inferior position, and they see dark-skinned women as even more inferior. So they think that dark-skinned black women do really suffer from colorism, but really what's in their head is just inferiorization of themselves and how they see themselves negatively. I mean, you can't believe the poison unless you swallow the poison, basically. And these type of people have already swallowed the poison, basically, where they feel they are inferior just because of their skin tone, despite their own beauty, you know. So that's what I just have to say here. It's just, I'm tired of this double standards with other brown-skinned and light-skinned black women. We deal with anti-blackness for our features as well, And I'm tired of the idea that it's understood that people who cry about colorism feel like they're treated less than other people who are lighter. And the only reason they agree with them is because they feel it too, even though they're not dark. So that's all I have to say in this video. Thanks for watching, everybody, and bye. Like and subscribe.